Hi, in this video I'll be demonstrating how to replace the tie rod ends on the 7 Series BMW. This is an E65 750. Right, I've jacked up the car. I have 2 trestles under the car. When working on the front suspension, just take a blower and blow it out to get rid of any excess brake dust. One can also take a hose pipe and put water over here to get rid of that brake dust. Right, here's the old tie rod end from the other side. I've already changed it, and what happens is the ball joint inside here becomes too loose, number one. Number two is there's a bit of free play. If I rotate it over here towards the edges, there's actually a definitive kink. It does not follow a concentric movement. It's like goes there and then there's a bit of a gap and then it carries on. So this ball joint is now finished, also making a bit of a clicking sound. A quick test to see if your ball joint is worn out is if you hold it up and it falls down by itself just from gravity, then you know it's worn out. Right, I've turned the steering wheel to full lock. I've jacked up the car. I've got 2 trestles under the car, and now it's time to open this nut. I first open this nut, then I open the alignment nuts over here. Now, because this nut may have been here for many years, I just put a little bit of oil just to allow it to come out easily. Now, in this vehicle, this nut is a number 22. Unfortunately, when loosening it, you might find that the whole ball joint turns. That is why on the top there's space for an Allen key. In this case, it's a number 6. So I could put my number 6 Allen key in there and then just use a spanner to open this while holding this in place, stopping the ball joint from turning. I've just loosened it with a wrench. And there you can see if I use the impact wrench, you can see how the whole ball joint on the inside is moving. That is why I'm going to have to use the spanner and the Allen key. Because I'm going to dispose of this ball joint, so I don't really care if I damage it, I can just depress this a bit and try and continue this process. And if I show you, it is actually opening. So that's the lazy way of doing it. But as I said, if yours doesn't come out, you must do the Allen key and spanner option to stop it from turning. Now, before I release this nut completely, I just need to open the adjusting nut here. So I've got my shifting spanner at the back there. The shifting spanner is on the shaft here. On the shaft, you will notice there are hexagonal faces here, which is ready for a shifting spanner. Then once I've got the shifting spanner here, I need a size 24 spanner to open this lock nut, which is going to allow me to loosen the tie rod end. Please do not loosen this nut by just turning it. You need to hold that so that the tie rod end remains straight. You don't want to put unnecessary stress on the steering rack components. Right, now I just open this quite a lot. I remove the retaining washer, and just over here, this is where the alignment is set. Now, obviously, you're going to have to get your alignment done, but what I do is I just put a bit of Tipex or white correction fluid here, just so that I know plus minus where I was, because I don't want it to be extremely bad when I'm driving to the alignment place, so I can at least get it within about a mil or 2 of the original settings. Now I can remove this nut finally. Now in this car, there's quite a lot of free play here, even though the strut is fully extended. On other cars, we need to actually jack this up a bit in order to release the ball joint here. But on this car, all I'm going to do is just tap it from the top and just wiggle it a bit. And the trick is to just push the wheel a little bit inwards like this, and there it came out. Right, so don't put unnecessary pressure on this. All I'm going to do is rotate this out. Now I'm going to rotate this out. And just inspecting the old one, it is way too loose now, so it's time for the change. Right, there's that correction fluid, so I know that I'm inserting the old one all the way up to where that white line is. Don't let this fall out. What this does is it is pressed on here, tightening this so it can't come undone. As you can see, there are slits on the sides here, and this pushes onto here, making sure that it fastens onto the threads here. If your locking washer falls out and you're not sure which way it goes, the open mouth goes there while the flat side goes towards the back. So there you can see this is beveled, engaging with this over here. Right, when installing this, it should go on very easily. If yours is not getting on easily, just be careful you're not cross-threading it. Right, I can return the locking nut here, but I don't have to make it tight at this point. I need to be able to install this ball joint first. Now your new ball joint you'll find is very stiff, so you might find it's very difficult to get in there. All I do is I just get it as close to the alignment here as possible. There, but now I'm going to turn the wheel towards it so that it can slot in, and then I'll pull it away. Right, so there we go. As I turn the wheel away, it is slotted in all the way and it's seated nicely. Right, now I need to put this nylon nut on. Now yours might have a castle nut, yours might also have a retaining clip that goes through the top of the threaded rod here. In this case, it's just a nylon nut. Right, now the correct method is to have your Allen key like this and your spanner. The reason why we do this is we do not want to damage this boot. If I go with an impact driver, I might twist this boot and the boot might tear or put unnecessary stress on it. So I can just tighten it now with my spanner. Now once it's tight, I just torque it. Right, now I just tighten this with my 24 spanner. Now because I'm going to get the alignment done tomorrow, I'm not going to make this very tight because it's only a 10-kilometer drive. Right, so the ball joint has been changed. Thanks for watching and cheers.